I'll give it a minute here, let a couple people get on before we get started. Can you guys hear me? Anybody that's on? I want to make sure my sound is working. Okay. All right, good. All right, we'll wait 20 more seconds and then I'll get this rolling here. Okay. All right, let's get started. My name is Ryan McKnight with MormonLeaks, and we wanted to do a quick question and answer video and an announcement. It's not breaking news or anything, but just some information that we wanted to disseminate out there, and we kind of felt this might be the best way. I'm going to jump into the first question because I think it'll be a good way to get us started. That I've gathered a couple of the questions that stuck out that were submitted on Facebook and Reddit when we announced this Q&A. So the first question that I've got here is, why are you doing a Q&A? Is there an appetite for it? Will it further your cause? Or are you just trying to become celebrities? Be honest with yourselves. So that was one question from somebody. I don't really have a response to the celebrity question. I'm not trying to become a celebrity. I think people that know me in real life know that. As far as why we're doing the question and answer, we get private messages from time to time, people that have little questions here and there. We do try to respond to all of them, although I'm sure we've missed some. And we just thought it would be a good idea to do this. We can sort of open it up to a broader base of people that that want to get some questions out there. Some people suggested just doing like a frequently asked questions on the website, and we may do that, but this was kind of more for different types of questions. But also, the purpose of this is not just the Q&A. We also wanted to give everybody an update sort of on the status of our leaks. So before I get into additional questions, let me just mention, I know everybody's been getting used to us leaking every Tuesday, and it's been great, and the support and the response has been great. We're taking this week off from leaks because of a couple reasons. We still do have some stuff that we're working on that's not ready to be leaked. We have a couple things that we probably could get ready, and we will get them ready in the next week or so. But we really just needed a break, to be honest with you. Some people may not realize how much time it takes to actually get a leak out there efficiently and organized and make sure everything is redacted, and we've even made some mistakes on missing some of the redactions, and so we're trying not to make those mistakes every time. And greetings from the country of tacos. I love tacos. I assume that's Mexico. I love Mexican food. Greetings. So basically, though, what it boils down to is we needed a week off, and so there it is. We will resume putting out the leaks that we have. We'll probably always put them out on Tuesdays with some minor exceptions, and we'll definitely, when the next leak is, we'll definitely announce it a couple days before so people know it's coming. But I would say that it has slowed down a little bit. So I don't think that people should be expecting leaks every single week at this point. But maybe every other week, every 3 weeks, and obviously as we get stuff in, if we get a lot of stuff in, maybe it'll be more frequent. But I'm thinking that if people want to expect something, that should be probably every other week going forward, maybe every 3 weeks or so. We have a couple things that'll come up probably next week. We'll probably have a batch of leaks that come out. We also have a leak that is related to Prop 8. I know some people saw me allude to it on Reddit, and that will come out soon. There's going to be a story, and I believe I'm not involved in writing the story, but there is a journalist that is writing a story about Prop 8 that is not just about our leak, but it's going to incorporate our leak. So, the person posting there under Mormon WikiLeaks is Scott. He's one of my team. He's my right-hand man, and he just kind of elaborated. Our families also needed us to take a week off. This is very true. So, when we receive the leaks, it's somewhat time-consuming to extract them and to decrypt them and then to make sure that the files are clean and all this stuff. So it's not just like a quick point-click upload process. So let me do a couple more of these questions, and then people can ask questions on here if they want. Okay. What do you see as the end goal of MormonLeaks? In 5 years, what do you hope that MormonLeaks has accomplished? I think the end goal is simple. It's transparency from the church. I don't really have high hopes that that's going to happen. But that's definitely the goal. I mean, the LDS Church has the ability to make our website go away tomorrow, if they want to. But my guess is that it's not going to be that easy to get that to happen. Okay, next question. Does my internet connection suck or does his? I don't know. Is everybody else seeing me fine? I'm on Wi-Fi, so I don't know. Okay. Does anybody else not see me well? Okay. A lot of leaked documents are over a decade old. Why? I don't know. I can only leak what we get. They're not all from the same person, so multiple people. Oh, there's my wife. If I had to guess as to why we get old documents, it might be because people feel more comfortable submitting older documents. Maybe they think it's harder for those to be traced to them, but that's just pure speculation on my end, so I don't really know. Has TSCC, okay, that's the so-called church, that's kind of a term from Reddit. So has the church increased internal security measures since then, I guess since we started leaking, I guess, making it harder to pull information? Well, I don't have any definitive information about that, but I would assume that they have. If they're smart, they would have, but I don't know. Has MormonLeaks team ever received what appeared to be exciting information, only to later figure out it was falsified during the vetting process? We receive all kinds of stuff, and there's some things that we've received that will never leak because of, it's very personal information about maybe private lives of general authorities or apostles, and we don't really see the direct connection to the church. But I don't think, I can't say we've received anything that I've falsified, but we have received some silly stuff. I think somebody once sent us a PDF of the Book of Mormon, and sorry about that. They sent us a PDF of the Book of Mormon, and they said, accompanied with a note of something like, read this and get back to us on all the scandalous stuff you find in it, or something like that. Somebody sent us their semester notes and like PowerPoints from a professor from a biology class, I think it was. some sort of science class, and it was like the entire semester, kind of like what you would download from the online page from your college class, and then the note accompanied said, Mormons need to study this. I don't know. It had nothing to do with the church. But I've also received some stuff that's already out there. So maybe some things that people thought was fresh leaks, but already in the public square. But other than that, we plan on releasing everything, and we haven't come across anything that I've deemed to be fake. Okay. Let's see the next question. Do you think there may be an effect from the leaks where certain information will now be more locked down than it previously was? So that kind of goes hand in hand with, are they taking additional measures? Not sure, but I would assume. Here's a question that comes across here. Let's see. Would you support a collective leak of local wards' key performance indicators to derive some more accurate statistical data, for example, attendance percentage of endowed members with recommends? I mean, we would take anything, yeah. We've received stuff from local wards, and we've published it, I believe. We've already published some stats along those lines from both Utah and from the Philippines. I believe we published some temple statistics. But yes, if we receive, sometimes the most interesting stuff is the local ward level things, and looking at that. So we definitely would welcome anything like that. So anybody with access to those things, if they want to submit it, they can. Have you ever talked with any GA about the leaks? No. And then I guess here's a companion question to that. Has the church contacted you and asked or threatened you to stop? No contact whatsoever from the church. We welcome it. I mean, if Mr. Hawkins or whoever wants to contact us, we would welcome a dialogue. I'm not sure what would come out of it, but they definitely shouldn't shy away from contacting us if they want to. But up to this point, nothing. Let me see if there were any other questions here. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and post them here. Let me see if there were any other. Has the church ever given a reaction to the leaked documents? I think if you look at most of their comments to the public have been like a no comment type comment. Like if you look at the pay stubs that were released, they said no comment. Basically, although they did reiterate that the apostles in I think they said first quorum and second quorum of the 70 make the same amount of money, if I remember right. Now, the Deseret News wrote an article which some would consider to be a response from the church, since the church owns that. Let's see. Right. Scott just wrote the church confirmed that apostles get paid. They did. They declined to confirm or deny the authenticity of the actual pay stubs. But I think the fact that they did write so many articles about it kind of hints at whether or not they think they were real. Is it preparing leaks that involves crimes of the church or leaders of the church? Yeah, I have not seen anything that I think would rise to criminal level. I mean, I suppose we could receive something like that in the future. I will tell you that I have seen things in the past that really strongly indicate that the church goes out of their way to follow the laws that apply to them, especially when it comes to IRS regulations. If I'm following MormonLeaks, I wouldn't get my hopes up about finding things that would indicate criminal activity when it comes to IRS filings and requirements, because the church is bringing in so much money following the rules. It's not really worth it for them. But also, I've seen evidence that they go out of their way to try to follow all the laws and rules. So one thing that you have to remember is that just because something is legal doesn't mean it's ethical, and just because something might be ethical doesn't mean it shouldn't be made known to the public. So we're not about only exposing unethical or illegal behavior. We're about exposing what should already be exposed. So we hope to expose things that are both, positive and negative. It doesn't matter to us if it's positive or negative. Have you ever received documents that you suspect the church itself leaked in order to discredit good information? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if they would do that. Although some have hypothesized that they leaked the pay stubs, although I have no reason to believe that's true. I'm not sure that the church would really try to do that, but I suppose they could. We're on, we're looking out for stuff like that. It's the most shocking. That's a great question. I know that the thing that the most popular thing that got leaked from the public standpoint was definitely the pay stubs. And I found the pay stubs to be interesting. But yeah, I find the historical things to be the most interesting to me, just because I like the history. So like the old memos from the 70s. I guess just because I'm more interested in those kinds of things personally, but nothing that's been leaked really has shocked me though. Scott says we won't comment on your question, Miriam, so maybe I said too much. I think what Scott's referring to when he says that we won't comment, Miriam, is that we don't really want to comment on, oh, this was a shocking document or this was a bad document, whatever it may be, whether it be the pay stubs or whatever, because it's not really our place to decide how you should view the pay stubs or any other document. We just want the information to be out there, and then each person can come to whatever conclusion they want, good or bad, and there's no reason why you can't look at, I'll use the pay stubs as an example. There's really no reason why a person can't look at those pay stubs and the memo referring to the $120,000 base living stipend and look at it positively. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing stopping somebody from doing that. And so we don't really want to guide that conversation at all. Either way. So somebody looks at that and they say, well, they work a lot of hours. They maybe left a career that was lucrative. Maybe they work so much. Maybe I think it's underpaid. If people come to those conclusions and they say that they're perfectly fine with the amount of money, then that's great. The main thing is that when people are deciding to support the church through their time and energy and money, that they have all the facts on the table. And then if they want to support the church, then they should. And we don't want to stop people from supporting the church. We just want them to do it in an informed manner. All right, I don't know if there's going to be any more questions. I'll wait a couple more seconds here. Let me see if I missed any questions. You guys rock. That's not a question, but I like that comment, Jody. Thank you. Okay. So I'll just kind of start wrapping this up since I don't see any more questions. I mean, if somebody has one, they can. But I do want to reiterate how grateful we are for the support that we've gotten from everybody, and the questions and the comments, and the conversation that's been started. It's been great. It's in many cases it's been bigger than I expected it to ever be, and we also appreciate the people that donated to our GoFundMe account, which just so you guys know, some people have seen that and they've wondered why we're asking for money, and it's simply to run the website, and that's it. The website is not cheap to run, and yeah, Scott says we even welcome criticism, and that's true. Unless the criticism involves specific sort of personal attacks against some of the other commenters, which sometimes they have, we will allow any criticism on our page. We'd like it to be constructive criticism, but we welcome it. But what I was saying about the GoFundMe, Mountie, that goes directly to the upkeep of the website, and we have spent more of our own personal money than what we've raised so far. I don't want people to think we're like making money off of this. None of the people involved will ever get a stipend or any money from this. And we're going to publish our quarterly financials to let you guys know where the money goes. Right now, the website costs somewhere in the range of like, it depends on the traffic that we get, but it's like $150 to $200 a month. Yeah, business license, trademark, yeah, any kind of like administrative fees like that is money goes for. Now, some of you know that we're planning on a Wikipedia style page where we're going to actually host all of the documents. And also we're going to host any leak that's ever happened, even that was not through us. We kind of want to have a central database, and we want to create wiki entries for each document or each group of documents that kind of give a history of where those documents came from, and then, sort of a link to those documents. And we're working on that. We're hoping to have the initial site up by the end of March, I believe, is our target date. We've had some setbacks just because of time and whatever. But once that gets up, the price of the website is going to go up. We're expecting between between $300 and $400 a month. But the people who've helped support with that's been awesome. And if anybody else wants to help keep the website going, we definitely welcome those donations. Let me see. There was another question here. Why do you think your first videos were liked? It was kind of positive for the church, except for the video with Senator Smith. Yeah, the Senator Smith video is, I think, what made the videos go national. And I also think the one with the WikiLeaks, where they talk about the confirmed, whether or not Chelsea Manning is a confirmed homosexual, and that whole discussion around that, I think, got a lot of attention. But I agree with you that a lot of people saw those videos as being positive for the church, which, again, just like I mentioned with the pay stubs, there's nothing wrong with that. Whether the videos leave you with a good or bad taste in your mouth, it doesn't matter. We just want you to see, what is it that they do. And those videos give us a little peek behind the curtain. How many hours of work do you usually put into website maintenance? Okay, I'm probably not the best person to answer website maintenance because I don't do it myself, but I don't think we're currently spending a lot of time on website maintenance right now. There was definitely a lot of hours put into building the website, but I think because it's such a simple site, the maintenance part of it is pretty self-contained. But as far as receiving the leaks and then getting them ready for publication, which involves vetting them, reading them, maybe contacting some experts in the field of what it's about, getting some feedback, getting some context. It can be anywhere from 2 hours for a document up to maybe 10 hours per document. It just depends. So it's definitely a lot of hours. And it's done late at night. Okay, that's when I have to do these things, when I get home from work, and late at night after my kids go to bed, and then I have some time to sit down on the computer, and sometimes I'm up till 12 o'clock, whatever, doing this stuff. Let's see. Do you have more information about the Ron Karen case? I don't really know much about the Ron Karen case other than what everybody else has seen, the video that he put out. So I don't have any special insight into that case. Let's see. How long does it generally take to confirm something that might be leak worthy? It just depends. Some things are very quick, others are not. It depends on what it is. I mean, this Prop 8 thing that we have, I really wasn't sure if it was real or not. Not that I thought it was fake, but I just didn't really have a way to vet it, and so that took a little bit longer. I found some people that were involved to see if they had seen something like this before, and now it's in the hands of a journalist. So, but yeah, there's really it could be minutes or it could be hours. It's just hard to say. Okay. Let's see. Ted corrected himself. Leaked, not liked. Let me see. What was that question? Oh, we're leaked. Okay, yeah. What sources do you consult to know a document is accurate? Yeah, we're not discussing that, but I will tell you that the process involves something more than just me looking at a document and feeling that it is real. But I don't really want to get into the vetting process just to protect sources and protect the process. So maybe one day we can be more open about that. But also just remember on that, there's no way for us to guarantee 100% any document. But we won't put something out there unless we really, really 99% sure it's real. If we have reason to believe or we just can't verify something, but we still think it's worth publishing, we would publish it with a disclaimer. All good questions coming here. I don't know if there's going to be any more. Let's see. I think I got all of them so far. There's 24 people watching now. I don't know if we see that. No, 26. It jumped up. I was going to say if that number starts going down. Thank you for your answer so far. You're welcome. Is it Mirjam? Mirham? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Now we're up to 30 people. Oh, we got these newcomers here that missed all these questions and answers. So all the people that are connecting right now, if you have questions, throw them up there. Do you think the church's transparency is better or worse now than it has been in the past? Definitely worse. There was a time when the church published financials to their general membership at General Conference. I think they stopped doing that. Don't quote me on this because I'm speaking off the cuff, but I believe it was in the 50s. Very impressive beard. Yes, thank you. Yeah, they used to publish their financials, and they stopped doing that back in the 50s or 60s. And at this point, they really disclose absolutely nothing unless they're forced to. I do think it is interesting to go to some of the other countries that require disclosure, like Canada, and there's some European countries, and you can see the financials. Although they're very abbreviated, they don't give a lot of details. They do give some insight to how things are working, at least in that country. So they're interesting to look at. But obviously the bread and butter would be the stateside financials. I've been involved with nonprofits for some time now that have nothing to do with the church or really religion. I sit on the board of control of a nonprofit currently, and I'll just say this: even though the church is not legally required to disclose their financials, there's nothing stopping them from doing it, and they do have, I would argue, an ethical responsibility to do so. They have whenever you're putting yourself up as an organization that serves the public, and you're asking for donations like tithing in order to further that work, you have a responsibility to let people know where that money is going. And it's a way to hold the leaders accountable. I mean, I would argue that active Mormons should want this just as much as anybody else. It's often said that the leaders are not perfect, so they're subject to making mistakes, and obviously we could point to mistakes that have been made in the past. And so providing financial transparency is one way to help hold them accountable. Okay, let's see. How much money does the LDS Church make each year? I have no idea, Matthew. I would love to know. I think that the Bloomberg article from a couple years ago estimates tithing revenue in the range of $7 billion. But then, of course, you have the for-profit revenue, so it's anybody's guess. When vetting leaks, do you ever consider whether the leaks are better not to leak out of risk of any problems that could arise? had they never been leaked. It depends on what you mean by problems. The only time we're not going to, and I mentioned this earlier, it might have been before you got on, Alex. If it's something personal that has nothing to do with the church or the apostles' service to the church, then the chances of it getting leaked are very low. And we have received stuff like that. So in that case, we would not leak it. But if it's something that has to do with church operations or management of church funds, the problems that may arise are not really my concern. Do you think that, okay, we already did that one. All right, I think I've gotten all the questions so far. We still got a solid number of viewers. It keeps going up, so I guess keep the questions coming. I'll stay on here till the number starts to go down, I guess. Or if we go like a minute without any questions, I'll probably shut it down. I know there was, I mentioned earlier in the very first question, there was somebody that was accusing us of trying to sort of become celebrities, and that's why we were doing this Q&A. I promise you I don't want to be a celebrity. If I could do, it's hard to do this without having my name known. So, because having my name known, putting my face to it, and Scott putting his face to it, allows, lends us credibility. But and so there's value in that. But we're definitely not doing this for the attention. Martha, I'm going to get to your question in just a second. I did want to take a moment to thank our team. I know I've thanked them in the past, but we might have some fresh viewers here. So, so I'm the founder of MormonLeaks, and we have Scott Fawcett, who serves as my assistant or vice president, if you want to call it that, and he's on the board of the organization. And you can listen to him on Middle Grounders, which is a radio show on Saturdays in Utah at 10 a.m. Utah time. And I believe it gets replayed on Sundays at the same time. Scott, you want to comment here what station it is? Because I don't remember what station it is. And then we have somebody who goes by the name of Privacy P. Pratt, who is the main web designer. And he's the brains behind the whole website. And he serves as a special advisor to the board. And we also have another special advisor who is completely anonymous at this point, who is helping us with the branding and public relations direction. We have another completely anonymous person who handled the visual design of the website, where Privacy P. Pratt was handling the behind the scenes. It's AM 860. I know you weren't looking for a mention. I gave you one, though. Check out Scott on his show on AM 860. It's good. I don't get to listen to it every week because I'm in Las Vegas, but the few times I have listened to it, it's good. Okay. Privacy P. Pratt handles the website, like the meat of it, behind the scenes of it. And then we have an anonymous person who designed it. And then we had one other person who's serving as sort of a cybersecurity consultant and assisting Privacy P. Pratt when needed. Let's see. What documents would be the golden document? Yeah, I agree with what Scott responded to you. What is golden to one is trash to another. Yeah, like I said, some of the leaks that we've had that haven't gotten a lot of attention that I personally found really exciting. So, we don't really look for a golden document, just whatever. We'll let the people decide what's golden. Has the church made any threats to future leakers? Not that we're aware of. Okay. What do you think of other organizations that expose LDS? Heart of the Matter, also polygamy. What love is this? Shield and Refuge that helps women escape Mormon polygamy cults. I'm not familiar with Shield and Refuge. I have seen Heart of the Matter a couple times. I mean, I've got nothing against any of these groups. I would support them in whatever they're doing. Heart of the Matter, I've seen some interesting videos on YouTube from him. I'm not really religious anymore, so I'm not sure how much interest it has to me personally, but I know that's more of a religious slanted program. You talked about financial transparency going down in the church. but are there other areas that got less and more transparent in your opinion? Well, I mean, I think that the two areas that the church needs to be transparent are financials and policies and procedures. So I'm not sure how open they were back in the day on policies and procedures, but I can tell you that they're not open at all right now. So unless, you know, the real nitty gritty corporate policies and procedures are kept very close to the vest currently. What would your golden document be? I don't really have a golden document, Martha. I really don't know. Yeah, just anything that sheds light on the organization as a whole. Is there a reasonable expectation of retaliation if someone didn't want to protect their identity? Yeah, I would highly recommend that you protect your identity if you're leaking something, because I mean, obviously we wouldn't know until it actually happens, but I would operate under the assumption that the church is probably going to make your life miserable if they find out who you are. I know that they were really trying hard to find out who gave me those videos in October, and I'm sure they want to know who gave me the pay stubs. So I would think long and hard if I were a leaker about revealing my identity. If they do want to reveal their identity, then that's fine. I'll help them come out and reveal their identity. I'm not against it, but I would just say that it might not be as good of a thing as you think it is, so just think it through really well. All right, we'll wait another... It seems like keep on doing what you're doing. Everyone has a right to know what's going on. Yes. Thank you, Linda. We'll wait another maybe 20 seconds or so, and if we don't get any more, I'll start wrapping it up. Great questions so far. I want to do more. How can I help? Well, you know, if you want to send me a private message, Mitchell, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or not, but you can look me up. And I don't know if you heard the part I was talking about, the donating money for the operation of the website, if you want to help with that. If you have some special skills that you think you can offer, like I said, go ahead and send me a private message, send us a private message, we can discuss. Yeah, via our Facebook page, yes. Will these Facebook Lives become regular? I don't think so. I mean, I like doing them. I don't want to do them like every week, though. It seems like it would be overkill. So, you know, maybe once a month, once every other month, you know, as we see fit. Some might be important about the capacity. Ted, I'm not sure what you're referring to. It seems like a comment about on a question. Some might be important about the capacity of the leaders to actually lead. I'm not sure. See up. I don't know. Okay. Let me just do one or two more questions here, and then we want to wrap this up. The Mormon Church is sounding more like Nazi Germany. What are we afraid of? The Czech soldiers and yeah, I don't know about all that stuff. I mean, I don't want to make a difference about the church. Yeah, Martha, as far as people not being afraid if the Mormons know who you are, I mean, that's, just so you guys know, that's sometimes easier said than done. So there are reasons to keep yourself anonymous. You know, I've talked to some leakers and they've expressed their specific concerns about it. So I would personally, I would not discourage somebody from staying anonymous if that's what they need. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. If you guys have more questions, feel free to send us a private message. We'll try to get back to you, or in the next month or two, I'll do this again, and maybe we'll have another round of questions. So, again, thank you, everybody. Why not posting personal leaks about leaders? Some information might be important to the capacity. Right. If there was a personal leak that dealt with that, then we probably would leak it. But the stuff that we have has literally no tie to the church or their leadership in the church. And I know probably people are saying, well, what is it? What is it? I would just say you're going to have to trust me and just know that it has nothing to do with reflection on how they lead the church or what they do in leading the church. Enjoyed it. Thanks, Terry. Peace out, everybody.